Let's talk about tax implications of Affordable Care Act. You're looking at page 2 of your Form 1040. Under the Affordable Care Act, you will need to report minimum essential coverage, report or claim a coverage exemption, or make an individual shared responsibility payment when you file your 2014 federal income tax return. So on line 61, you will either check the box for full year coverage, or you will write down the additional tax payment amount on line 61. And how those numbers appear? When you do paper return, you just write those down. When you do your taxes online, you create an account and enter all personal information. For instance, this is Nancy Green's tax return. And as soon as personal information is entered for her and her dependents, she has 2 sons, at the bottom of the screen there will be a warning that the Affordable Care Act requires each person in the household to have health insurance coverage that qualifies as minimum essential coverage or have qualified exemption to health insurance coverage. The next screen will ask a couple of questions. The first one is if everyone was insured all year, and the answer is no in case of Nancy. The next question is if anyone was insured at least part of the year, and yes, it's the case. Next screen will provide opportunity to give more information. Nancy didn't have insurance for the whole year, but she was insured part of the year. Both of her sons were insured the whole year long. The question about their income is no, her boys didn't make any money. Next screen is offering to enter more details regarding Nancy Green's health insurance coverage. We'll click Start and the next screen opens. Here I can check all check boxes for those months when she had insurance coverage. If she had insurance coverage for just 1 day in the month, she is considered to be covered for the whole month. So, because her coverage was absent for only 2 months, she is qualified for short gap exemption. What is the short gap exemption? The short gap coverage exemption is the gap in coverage that lasts less than 3 months. If you have more than one short coverage gap during a year, the short coverage gap exemption only applies to the first gap. So Nancy doesn't have any additional tax because she is qualified for short gap exemption. And on the second page of her 1040 form, on line 61, a checkbox for full year coverage will be marked. So, what do you do? Do you need to provide IRS with proof of your health coverage? No, you don't need to send any paperwork. However, you should keep any documents with your other tax records. This includes records of your family employer provided coverage, premiums paid, and type of coverage. You should keep these as you do all other tax records, generally for 3 years after you file your tax return.